Hi, this is the Cat's Library. I'll be your librarian today. In this video, I will be doing week 2 of my Smaugust challenge. Be sure to watch the first one if you haven't already. I am still a couple days behind, but there are more dragon drawings in this video than there were in the last one. Engage speed paint! So this first one of the video I did the day after I uploaded my first video in the series because I forgot to draw a dragon that day. Shame on me, I'll try to do better for this video. I wanted to draw with more circular shape language since I'd been going more spindly and triangles and squares for the ones in the previous video. This ended up having an odd look since I got very sharp with the claws and the wings, and then very squiggly with the tail and a very round head. I actually sort of like the shape language that this looks like. It is very unique. Very salamander-like. This is another attempt at drawing mountains. There is one that is better in this video. But I also wanted this to be a night scene since I hadn't done that yet. And since I had a very blue background, I ultimately decided to draw the dragon yellow instead of blue or green as was previously seems like I wanted to do. Because I haven't really done that many yellow dragons up to that point. And I tried different shades of yellow and the purple eyes, and the yellow and the purple eyes like that made it look a little bit like that one Pokemon, which I think is Jolteon or whatever. I don't really play Pokemon, I just watch a whole bunch of design videos, but I don't think it looks too much like him. And there's the yellow highlights and the purple shading, which I like. And then I drew in the light on top of it, which this had very nice lighting. 7 and 8 I did on the same day since I was still behind, and I was probably going to do them both very simple, but I couldn't help myself. I felt in the need to actually try for day 7. Technical day 7, I didn't do it on day 7. As you can see, I spent a lot of time on that sketch, that preliminary sketch, and this secondary sketch. I also spent a lot of time, a lot of finagling, like twisting things that I didn't like, and I just generally spent more time on this than most of the other ones in this video. I still did not look up references, which may make it look not as good as it could have. I could have done better with the anatomy, as the muscles do not look realistic, especially there on the wings, where it is just a little stick that comes out. It doesn't even really have a joint for where the wing flaps. But this still gives it an interesting stylized look. I had trouble with that one paw that was coming toward us because it's like supposed to be curled under him because he's flying. I was trying to be more conscious-minded about the angle that I originally intended in the preliminary sketches that I'd planned out beforehand. I did something interesting with the spikes there. I was gonna do a completely monochrome dragon, but as you know, I am addicted to color. So I drew him in gray. I had half tone for the scales. You could see a little bit of that back leg through the wing. And then it's like, and then around here, it's like I'll do all the shading in color. At the end of this process, he looks more like a black dragon than a gray dragon. And I am not adverse to that. He does look pretty good. I also highlighted him with bright colors. Hello, cat. What do you have to say about the dragon? You have something to say about the dragon? Is it pretty? Going right for the microphone. Okay. Yeah, more colors in the background. This is the one where I really tried with the mountains. I had different layers. I tried to do the atmospheric pressure where the ones that are farther in the distance are lighter and the ones closer up are still darker. And I was still gonna do a monochrome color palette for that. Like, this isn't monochrome, that was just like testing. It's the sky and a bit of the dragon, and then the shading is all the colors, but like the base colors are all gray and stuff, which I really like. I really like the level. I put some texture in for the mountains there. Over the texture, I put more shading, have all of the different layers of the mountains. Looks like it has depth. The dragon looks great. The sky looks great. That whole picture was amazing. This one, since this was the same day, because I planned it out to try to get back on track that day and I was like really in a mood to draw, I decided to go very, very cartoony so that I could get that one done fast. And it's special. Okay, goodbye, cat. And yeah, it's very, very special one. As in that it actually looks like a cartoon. And it's good, it's just like a completely different style, and I think that that's hilarious. It's just so funny that it's just so different. It's like so colorful, like the line art is thicker and I didn't do as much of it. And yeah, I sort of love him. Yeah, that was supposed to be a stylized tree, and then I decided to do the more standard tree. Use that leaf brush that I overuse. Like around here, if I'd left it like that and just put in a little bit of a ground, maybe, then it probably would have been fine. I put in some texture on the branches. This background, that was supposed to be like more trees in the background since I was going really fast with this. But as is, it looks confusing about what it actually is. I was trying to put some grass there, and then I don't like that grass, so then I changed it later. Tried to tweak it, tried to make it work right, but no. Yep, still nope. Still not gonna like that. But yeah, I moved on to the shading because the background wasn't working out for me. And he just looks better with the shading, too. Yeah, I think I like this one. It's the teal, that's my favorite color. Like, he has the yellow and the red, which aren't necessarily my favorite colors. I tried to make the background lighter so that I could see the dragon better. And then I did that for the grass, which I copied and pasted a few times. And I like that for like little ferns, little foliage grass. I actually made those myself. I did not use the leaf brush. Which I either need to get a new leaf brush or I need to like learn how to draw leaves by myself. But yeah, I like him. It's really great. So for day 9, I was ad-libbing again, but as I went along, I decided to make it a redemption for the hairy dragon that I had in the last video. And I think that this one worked far better. This has more simple shapes, and the hair is a more complicated shape. And so it doesn't draw as much attention as having it all complicated. And I don't know what I did. I might have stylized the hair in a better way so that there's more empty space in the middle of the strands so that it works better. A lot of these poses are very similar in this video because I might have already told you. I was also feeling in a yellow mood because I felt like I hadn't done enough yellows. Again, even though the first day was yellow, I didn't remember that. But I do like this lion sort of inspired hair and inspired coloring. I got the wings a little bit more green to match the eyes. Again, I was trying to get that magic that I got in that previous drawing with the mountains. And so I drew out some blocky shapes. And since I drew the sun behind the dragon, I had to change it at the last moment to have it backlit, which changed everything about the mood of the piece. But I think it's okay. I also was trying to do the patterns, putting patterns overlaid on top of the background so that the background looked textured without me having to work too hard, since I was still trying to get these done all in one day. And I put it on grayscale and had to make the drawing darker so that she would stand out. So this was a pretty good sketch that I started out with, and I worked very hard on it. I spent a very long time on this compared to some of the others. But I wanted it to be a painting primarily. And this was a problem because I didn't spend as much time on the preliminary sketches. I also put the head back, which is a very confusing choice. It is a primarily blue dragon. I didn't do anything too interesting with different types of scales since I went in with the painting so quickly. Right here I was drawing out the scales. I drew them like that, like as little dashed lines in white, and then I copied that and made a dark over it, and then I put an overlay on top of it. The background for this one turned out much better than the other one that I was talking about earlier when I just used the tree brush. Had an orange background, which stood out very well against the blue of the dragon. The orange and the purple shading color was really good because the dragon also has a bit of a purple shading color. I had some trouble with that sky that's in the very far background that's going through the trees. That's also a really pretty shading gradient that I have there. Now, after I did the trees, then the dragon wasn't standing out as much, so I physically went in and drew in all of the scales. That's what I used to do in my sketchbook whenever I was drawing a dragon. I'd just draw out all of the scales just like this. It's very tedious. Like, the trick to making it look right is that you have to pay attention to the way that the form is going. And I am not the best at doing that because I can't think in three-dimensional spaces well. I also just drew it around the head and then copied and pasted it. I put on an overlay of blue so that everything would look unified. With day 11, I got the first two sketches done, and then my editing software crashed, and I decided to just do it again. I put this speed up a little bit faster than some of the other ones because this one also took a while. Since the previous one, I decided to go with the painting route and neglected the primary sketches. This time around, the sketches were supposed to be the whole point of it. I was actually going to have it all cross-hatched and not really color it in at all, but muscle memory took in and I didn't go through with that. Maybe I'll do it in the next video sometime. You never know. This was an attempt at a feathered dragon. I hadn't had too many of those. Again, I was trying to pay attention to the forms of where the feathers were going to be. I did not look up a reference actually this one was the one that I did look up a reference. What am I talking about? Like the day before that I was going to draw this, I was looking up some bird anatomy, and I figured out that I wanted to have it so that the wing itself is overlaid on top of the arm of the wing. So those main like feathers that are like elbow down, like would be on a human arm, are bigger than the shoulder and the bicep sort of thing. I got that whole line art and I shrunk it down so that it fed on top of the other sketch because it was going a little bit too big because I was overwhelming myself. It didn't really work so well with fill bucketing it in because I have so much line art there that it doesn't know where the lines are. Since I didn't crosshatch and actually did color it in, the colors themselves that I put in overshadowed all of the line art. So here for the shading, I went back with my crosshatching idea. So all of the highlights are in crosshatching. And this ended up looking pretty good. This dragon actually looks like an original character that I have. I don't know if I have a picture of her. But yeah, liked it. Decided to go minimal with the background, and I decided to have those black bars around the edges of it so that it looks like she's traveling a certain amount of distance. This is the last one of the video, and again, I wanted to do a night scene. Firstly, I was in the mood for a night scene, and secondly, it's a good idea to have the beginning in a night scene and the ending in a night scene. I was having a little bit of trouble with this pose since I didn't sketch it out correctly. Well, I didn't sketch it out very refinedly. I was just sketching out the basic gesture and had some trouble with the back legs specifically, which I have a little bit more problems with in the previous two, which I've already drawn like some of the drawings for the next video. Yeah, I was having a bad drawing day that day. Just kept doing several loads of line art, couldn't get it right. Having some trouble with tangents with those ears, I couldn't get the horns right. Really should have looked up a reference, but I'm not sure that there even is a reference for whatever pose this is. Wanted to have a back leg that's down like that, because like in the previous few ones, I hadn't drawn legs in a while. I'd just drawn the wings where the legs would be. So all of a sudden, boom, wings. Decided to go more cartoony this time around. And this is around the point that I decided to make it a unicorn dragon. And so this again is a furry dragon. Well, you know, a dragon with, you know what I mean. This is like mostly scales, but also has a combination of scales and fur. And I also, since it's a unicorn, I made it white, and I decided to practice with different shades of white on top of each other. So this is a very low contrast image. I had really light shading and really light highlights. At first I did a pure white base coat, and then I made it a little bit more gray so that the white itself could stand out. I was also trying to do a lineless style since the last drawing I did was all line art, but I don't know how to do a lineless style, and this is a monochrome image with very low contrast, so I had to put in a little bit of the shading layer. I decided to make the eyes green, and so I decided to put a little bit of a glow effect so that they would stand out. They were originally blue, but that was blending in with everything that's blue. Put a little bit of a radial blur on that background. And she has a whole bunch of different shades of different colors. So even though it's pure white, it's still colorful because I am indeed addicted to color. And that should be it for today. The next video will probably be out sooner because I kept procrastinating on actually finishing the video. I'm still a little bit behind on the dragon drawings, but I do have more of them done than I did when I started this video. I don't really know why I was procrastinating so much. Thank you for watching the previous video. It got up to 63 views. Please watch it again, or watch it if you haven't already. Like and subscribe to this video. Next video will be out soon. Bye!